Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of meeting with Andrea Sittig-Rolf. She's the founder and CEO of Blitz Masters. Welcome, Andrea.
Thanks for having me.
I see you as the #1 thought leader in America about prospecting. Can you share what is new and exciting about prospecting?
Sure. One of the trends that we're seeing is that salespeople have a little bit of a tendency to hide behind technology. They're texting, they're emailing, they're doing social media. And while that may have a place in prospecting, it's honestly not as effective as picking up the phone and calling a buyer. A sale doesn't happen until a salesperson calls a buyer and has a conversation. So what used to be considered old school, this idea of calling someone and creating a relationship out of thin air, is actually new again. Prospects aren't receiving calls, and so when they do, it's sort of a differentiator. Your competitors aren't calling the prospects, but you need to be to start that relationship.
In a lot of salespeople's minds, there's sort of that barrier that they think they have of not being able to reach the prospect. How do you solve the problem?
Well, we solve the problem by teaching techniques. A lot of, I think, why salespeople feel there's a barrier is that they're not confident about the rejection that they will likely get. So by teaching them things like how to get past gatekeepers, how to handle objections, how to get voicemail returned, and then ultimately how to ask for the appointment, by empowering them with the skills they need, their level of confidence increases, and they're more likely to do that behavior that's going to get them in front of the prospect.
Can you share what some of those techniques are?
Oh, sure. You want me to give away all my good stuff. So, for example, if you're calling into a company, rather than having the whole conversation with a gatekeeper, which, by the way, is sort of dangerous because he or she can tell you no, but they cannot tell you yes. So when the gatekeeper answers the phone, you immediately ask for the sales department. Or maybe you ask for HR or the help desk, because what's happened is the gatekeeper will not screen your call from those other departments. You might get screened from the gatekeeper when you're asking for Mr. Big, for example.
So you travel through the roads that are open.
That's absolutely right. And salespeople by nature love to talk. We like to help. So if you get to the salesperson and you ask the salesperson to transfer your call, they're more likely to do that. And then on the receiving end, when that prospect sees the call coming in, it's an internal call that's being transferred, not from the front desk. So they're more likely to pick it up.
So how do you translate that knowledge and embed it in a salesperson's skills program?
So we have several programs that allow that to happen. The Blitz Experience, which is a full-day on-site program. Then we have Blitz 2.0, which is a half-day virtual program with a live Blitz Master. And then we have a new program coming out next year called Blitz on Demand, which is a cloud-based interactive video version of our Blitz Masters programs. So there are several ways that the client can receive the program, just depending on the number of people, whether they can get everybody together or if they're at different locations.
Andrea, in the past, you have gone to companies and you have taught for an hour, and then you gave salespeople the chance to act on that and make live calls and then come back to you and share their experiences. So how do you reproduce that online in the cloud?
Yeah, so in the cloud, I'm basically on your computer screen, and it's quite an engaging performance, I guess, if you want to call it that. But I'm still teaching how to handle objections, how to get past gatekeepers, how to get those voicemails returned, and then ultimately how to set the appointment. And I think part of the engagement is that it is interactive. At the end of each chapter on gatekeepers, for example, I'm asking you questions. How would you handle this scenario, for example? And then you would just click on the screen, you would give your answer, and then based on your answer, I come back on the screen and say, yes, that's correct, great, let's move on, or no, you've missed it, let's try again. So it's this interaction where you feel like it's a live trainer there. You learn the material, then you go off, you make your calls, you track your results, you come back to the interactive program, Blitz on Demand, and you print out a certificate of completion.
Well, thank you, Andrea. For anybody who'd like to get more information, go to
blitzmasters.com.